Cruise lines list Ensenada as a port stop, but they never explain what actually happens once passengers step off the ship. They don't tell you that the pierside area is designed to keep you close, that the best experiences require intentional choices, or that distances and timing work differently than you'd expect. This is why so many cruisers walk off feeling underwhelmed or confused about how to spend their time. I'm Charlie from Travel Day Trip Ideas, and today we're showing you exactly how to approach Ensenada so you don't become another passenger who labels this port as filler. Ensenada sits just 70 miles south of the US border on Mexico's Baja California peninsula. Your ship docks right at the cruise terminal, and downtown is a 15 to 20-minute walk along the waterfront boardwalk. The port feels convenient, and that convenience creates a trap. Because it's so close and walkable, most cruisers assume no plan is needed. They wander the pierside shops, grab a margarita, and head back early, feeling like they missed something. Nobody explains that Ensenada requires a choice, not just a casual stroll. Before you even leave the ship, you're making three big decisions that most passengers never realize they're making. First, do you stay close to the port and do it intentionally, or do you venture farther out with strict time discipline? Second, do you explore independently or book a local tour that handles timing and transport? And third, what's actually worth your limited hours here? This is where most people go wrong. They assume everything is close because the port feels walkable, but La Bufadora is typically 45 minutes each way. Valle de Guadalupe is 30 to 40 minutes inland, and traffic can eat into your buffer. Local tours bundle transport, timing, and multiple stops efficiently, often for half what cruise line excursions charge. If you're comfortable navigating independently and staying close to town, you'll be fine. But if you want to see the blowhole or wine country, a guided option removes the stress and gets you back on time. We've added our favorite local tour options in the description. Walk off the ship and you'll immediately hit the port zone. Souvenir stalls, shuttles, and taxis all compete for your attention. Here's mistake number one that catches almost everyone. Don't pay for the first shuttle or tour you see before you even walk 10 minutes. The port area is built for impulse decisions, and the best experiences are just beyond that bubble. Walk along the Malecon boardwalk toward the main tourist zone. It's flat, easy, and gives you a feel for the city. You'll pass a massive Mexican flag that's become a local landmark, and the marina where local fishermen unload their catch. Within 20 minutes, you'll reach Avenida López Mateos, the main tourist strip. This is Calle Primera, and it's where most cruisers end up. The street is lined with bars, restaurants, and shops selling everything from tequila to blankets. But here's what nobody tells you. If you walk just a few blocks deeper, you'll find the Mercado Negro, the fish market, and this is where locals actually buy seafood. Fresh fish, shrimp, octopus, and clams are displayed on ice, and vendors will cook your selection right there. Order a shrimp cocktail or fish tacos, and you'll taste the difference. Prices are in pesos and kilos, so do the conversion before you order. This is authentic Ensenada, a 5-minute walk from the tourist chaos, and it's the part most people never discover. If you're heading to La Bufadora, leave early. This is the famous blowhole where seawater shoots up through a rock formation, and it's one of Ensenada's signature attractions. The drive typically takes 40 to 45 minutes, and you'll need to navigate a long vendor corridor before you reach the viewpoint. Traffic and crowds can slow you down, especially if multiple ships are in port. A taxi often runs around 500 to 650 pesos one way, and you'll need to arrange a return time. This is where a tour really helps, and it's also where most people realize too late that they should have planned better. Tours handle the timing, the transport, and the return buffer. If you're doing it yourself, leave no later than 9 in the morning and plan to be back by early afternoon. This is the hidden decision point that separates a great day from a stressful one. For lunch, skip the pierside restaurants and head to a local spot on Calle Primera. Ensenada is famous for Baja-style fish tacos, battered, fried, and topped with cabbage, pico de gallo, and lime. You'll find them at street carts for a few dollars each. If you want something more substantial, order ceviche or aguachile, both made with fresh local seafood and served with tostadas. This is the food experience people rave about when they actually find it. But most passengers never get this far because they stick to the port bubble. Here's mistake number 2 that frustrates a lot of cruisers: assuming the best prices are at the port. The shops right at the terminal are convenient, but they're also typically the most expensive. Walk into town and you'll find better deals on everything from souvenirs to tequila. Negotiate politely, pay in pesos if you can, and don't feel pressured to buy. This is the part nobody explains, so people end up paying double for the same items they could have found 10 minutes away. If you're interested in wine country, Valle de Guadalupe is 30 to 40 minutes inland. This is Mexico's premier wine region with rolling vineyards, modern tasting rooms, and world-class wines. But here's the reality that most people don't hear until it's too late. You need a full half day to do it properly, and you need reliable transport. Tours typically bundle 2 to 3 wineries, lunch, and return timing for around $150 per person. If you're doing it yourself, you'll need a rental car or a private driver, and you'll need to set hard time limits. This is not a port where you can wing it. The premium option is a guided wine tour that handles everything. The budget option is staying in town, eating great seafood, and enjoying the beach or markets. Both work, but they require different mindsets, and that's the choice nobody frames for you up front. For a beach day, Playa Hermosa is the closest option. It's typically a 5 to 10 minute taxi ride from the port, and it's a local beach with calm water and a laid-back vibe. You won't find resort amenities, but you will find space to relax without the cruise ship crowds. If you want something more scenic, the Malecon waterfront is perfect for a slow walk with harbour views. You'll see locals fishing, families picnicking, and street vendors selling churros and elote. This is the Ensenada that feels real, and it's completely accessible if you know to look for it. Here's mistake number 3 that catches people off guard: not leaving enough buffer time to get back to the ship. If you're at La Bufadora or Valle de Guadalupe, traffic can be unpredictable. Always plan to be back in the port area at least 90 minutes before all aboard. If you're staying in town, 60 minutes is fine, but don't cut it close. This is the timing reality that nobody warns you about, and it's why so many people either skip the best attractions or end up stressed. As your day winds down, walk back along the Malecon and take in the harbour views. The port area has a Ferris wheel, carousel, and small playground if you're travelling with kids. There's also the Riviera del Pacifico, a beautiful historic building with a bar that claims to have invented the margarita. Whether that's true or not, it's a nice spot to grab a drink and reflect on your day. If you only do one thing today, make it a choice. Stay close and do it well, or go farther with a solid plan. Ensenada isn't a filler stop when you approach it with intention. It's a misunderstood port that rewards people who understand how it actually works. We've added our favourite local tours in the description below. They're great value, smaller groups, and they've always had us back to the ship with plenty of time. Tell us how you'd spend your day in Ensenada and keep watching for the next port.